A piper attracts rats away with music. But what happens next? Once upon a time, in the quaint town of Havenbrook, nestled between lush hills and a shimmering river, life was peaceful until the rats came. These weren't ordinary rats. They were clever, organized, and overwhelming in numbers. They gnawed through food stores, infested homes, and caused widespread panic. The townspeople had tried everything to rid themselves of the pests, but no solution worked. One fateful evening, as the town held yet another meeting to discuss the rat crisis, an eerie figure appeared at the town hall's door. He was tall and thin, wearing a long cloak that seemed to shimmer with the fading daylight. His face was partially hidden beneath the brim of a wide hat, but his eyes gleamed with a strange, otherworldly light. In his hand, he carried a simple wooden flute. "I am the piper," he announced in a soft, melodious voice that instantly commanded attention. "I have traveled far, and I have heard of your troubles. For a price, I will rid your town of these vermin once and for all." The townspeople murmured amongst themselves. They were wary of strangers, especially those who appeared out of nowhere with grand promises. But desperation had taken hold, and the mayor, a stout man named Bartholomew, stepped forward. "And what is your price, piper?" Bartholomew asked, his brow furrowed in suspicion. The piper's lips curled into a small, knowing smile. "I ask for only a single thing. When I am finished, you must grant me whatever I ask, as long as it does not harm the town." After a brief discussion, the mayor and the townspeople agreed. They reasoned that nothing could be worse than the current plague of rats, and the piper seemed confident in his ability to solve their problem. With the deal made, the piper walked to the center of town, where he raised his flute to his lips. He played a soft, lilting tune, so beautiful that it seemed to fill the air with magic. The sound drifted through the streets, echoing through every alley and corner. Within moments, something incredible happened. Rats began to emerge from every shadowed crevice, their beady eyes glinting as they scurried toward the piper. The townspeople watched in awe as the rats, enchanted by the music, formed a single massive swarm, following the piper as he led them toward the river. Without hesitation, the rats plunged into the water, where they vanished beneath the surface, never to be seen again. When the last rat had disappeared, the piper lowered his flute and turned back toward the town. The people cheered, overjoyed to be free of the infestation finally. "You've done it!" Mayor Bartholomew exclaimed, rushing forward to greet the piper. "Our town is saved. What is it you wish to be paid, as promised?" The piper's expression turned serious, and his voice, though still melodic, carried a weight it hadn't before. "I wish for the firstborn child of Havenbrook to accompany me on my travels." The crowd fell silent. Horror spread across the townspeople's faces. They had not expected such a request, and fear gripped their hearts. "No," Bartholomew cried. "We cannot allow this. A child's life is too great a price." The piper's eyes narrowed, his calm demeanor slipping for the first time. "You made a promise, and I kept my end of the bargain. The price must be paid." But the townspeople refused. They drove the piper away, hurling accusations and insults as they barred him from the town. Though silent, the piper left with a bitter gaze that promised vengeance. Days passed, and Havenbrook celebrated its freedom from the rats. But their joy was short-lived. One morning, a strange fog rolled into the town, and with it came a haunting melody, the same tune the piper had played before. The people rushed to the streets, only to find their children, every single one, leaving their homes. Their eyes glazed over as they followed the sound of the piper's flute. Panic began as parents called out for their children, but none listened. The children marched in unison, following the distant figure of the piper as he led them out of the town and toward the distant hills. The townspeople tried to chase after them, but the fog thickened, and soon both the piper and the children had disappeared, swallowed by the mist. That night, a somber silence fell over Havenbrook. The town had rid itself of the rats, but at what cost? The price for breaking their promise had been higher than they could have imagined. As for the piper, no one knew where he took the children, or what became of them. But from that day on, Havenbrook was known not for its peaceful rivers or rolling hills, but as the town that had learned the price of broken promises too late. And somewhere, in the distant hills, the haunting sound of a flute could still be heard on the wind. Have you ever tried any unconventional methods for pest control? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to check out my other videos for more fascinating tales and ideas. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like for more videos, and I'll see you next time.